Hi, this is Eric Brown with the Profitable People Company, and I was having a conversation the other day with Chandra Irvin about coaching and some of the challenge that coaches have in monetizing their business. What I've found in my experience in doing coaching myself and working with coaches is that we all have really big hearts and we really want to help people. And so Sean and I were having a conversation about specifically the Kentucky Coaches Alliance and some of the events that are coming up. And she seemed to think there might be some synergies with me being either a keynote speaker or helping facilitate some breakout sessions to kind of help coaches monetize what they do. That seemed to be like a key theme. And so really the purpose of this video is to, one, to just introduce me and who I am, what I'm about, and how I would approach either doing a keynote or a breakout, so that if you're on that committee that's going to pick speakers, that you have a little better idea of who I am and how I might fit into that, and then we can have more conversation from there. So a couple of the different areas that I was thinking about that seem to be consistent as far as the challenge people have in monetizing the work they do. One is finding prospective clients and finding ways to connect with people who are really looking for what you already do. And so there are people out there who need the help that you provide. So if you're a coach who does some kind of health and wellness kind of coaching to kind of help people with having maybe a healthier, happier life, there are people who are really looking for someone to help them with that. And so seminars can be a great way to connect with people. And so one aspect of a program, whether it's a keynote or a breakout, is being able to show people, how do you connect with new prospects? Seminars are a great way to do that. So part of one option would be to talk about how can you create seminars that are going to deliver results. Now, one of the key things that I teach and present about seminars is not so much about content development. Most of us are really good at the content that we have. We're subject matter experts, so there's usually not a problem with the content. Where I see the problem is people that are doing a seminar don't really know, how do I engage the participants in such a way that I'm going to be able to move them from being a participant in my seminar to having a conversation with me after the seminar to see how we can develop a coaching relationship together. And there are very specific strategies. There are questioning strategies that I teach that are really, really key to making that work, because just like when we're doing a presentation and we want to have a certain flow to that and a certain energy, and we create a certain mood with our speeches and our seminars and presentations, it's the same thing with moving the person along psychologically and emotionally to where they're going to be inspired to want to have a conversation with us. And there's other things that we want to include in the seminar process that are interwoven throughout the content that are going to make that happen. So that could be a whole program right there in itself. Okay, so that's one option, prospecting through seminars. Another topic could relate to, how do I increase my prospects through networking? I notice a lot of times when people are at networking situations, it becomes very social. And it's great to meet people, and I love developing new friendships, but when I go to networking, I'm investing my time, energy, and my money sometimes in going to that event, and I want to create a result from that. And so another potential topic for a breakout would be related to, how do I take a networking conversation and convert that into a sales meeting or a strategic relationship? Every time I'm in a conversation with someone, I know that it's either going to be a client relationship or it's going to be a strategic relationship. So I'm always working strategically to move the conversation in one of those two directions. And even if that person can't be a client or a strategic partner, they're going to know someone who can fit into one of those two categories. All right, so it takes a lot of careful planning and putting a process together to make that happen. And so that's a whole other aspect there as well. Another topic could relate to, how do I manage my sales meetings? So once I get in front of someone, how do I move that conversation along so that I convert that into a client relationship? And so that's a whole other potential topic. And then probably the last main topic would relate to, how do I increase my referrals? And I've learned some really innovative and creative ways to create referral conversations with people, whether it's existing clients or people that are in my network, to be able to generate anywhere from 4 to 10 quality introductions through a single conversation. And so that's another aspect of that. So kind of how does this could look different ways. So for example, we could take all of those topics and roll those into a keynote presentation where, depending upon the time frame, if we have an hour, then I would take maybe 10 to 15 minutes on each of those sections. I like to have a lot of interaction. So there are situations where sometimes if it's a big event, it's not designed for interaction, so I could put this together in such a way that it really is me presenting it, and that people would have a handout, they would have other resources, they might have access to other videos like this where I'm going to recap in detail just a few of the key points, so that if you're a participant, that after the fact you'll be able to take this information, maybe go back through some video review, and be able to implement this on your own. You'd also have the option, if you want to reach out to me or someone else that would be the appropriate contact, to help you really take that system, tailor it to your world, and generate results from it. So those would be a couple of options. If there's the ability to have a lot of interactivity, then we could take one or more of these topics and then have a dialogue. One of the things I love to do in any kind of program I present is I love to make it as interactive as possible, and I like to do some live coaching right there with the people who are there so they can see, how does this really work in my world. I'm really committed to delivering a result so that when you leave my program that you can implement these things. Okay? Some people, they just want information, they just want to be educated, and that's great. I really like to create a result though, so that when you walk out of the seminar you feel like it was a real good value and use of your time. And so what I like to do when I'm working with an association or an organization that's sponsoring one of these events is I like to find out from you, what are the kind of key takeaways that you want your members to have when they leave the entire event. So I've got my keynote or my breakout, which is a subset of your overall program. So whether it is the theme of the event is related to your mission statement, or it's related to your values proposition, or it's just some theme that you've put together, I want to be speaking the same language that you are to your members, to really reinforce through my content the message that you want to deliver to your membership, okay, so that there's value delivered there. And that, of course, requires some conversation. So this gives you just a brief overview. The best way to reach me is through my website, which is www.profitablepeopleinc.com. You can also call me at 502-262-9904, or you can email me at Eric, which is ERIC, at profitablepeopleinc.com. And I'll have a link to the website here on the video as well. But those would be the ways to get in touch with me, and I'd love to have more conversation just to kind of really see if there really would be a fit of us being able to work together or putting a program together for your members. So thank you, and have a prosperous week.